Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bonnie from Bomboo, and this time I'm making over this vintage cupboard that needs a lot of repairs, but it will look fabulous with the new IOD transfer called Rose Botanical. First thing I always do is make sure the drawers are in good working order and there's no sticking in the doors. In this case, there were no sticking, so no need to do any sanding or planing, so I'm just going ahead and removing the doors. You can also use this time to check the condition of the hinges. If they're good, just leave them. The veneer on the sides were damaged down near the feet, so I'm actually going to remove the whole base. First, I'm just knocking out these timber bits, and then I'm going to turn her on a side and prepare to saw it all off. Because I'll be cutting through veneer, I'm putting some tape down so the veneer doesn't splinter as I'm cutting it. So now I'm also doing some measurements, and I'm measuring from the top down, not from the feet up. And it's also good to measure a few times so you only have to cut it once. I do have to apologise here as I was filming on another phone as well, and my back ended up being in front of the camera. Once the base is all off, I'll turn her upside down, and I have made a base already. And as there's going to be a bit of a gap, a little pocket, I'm putting one of my business cards in there with the year, the date, and maybe one day in the future someone will tear her apart and find my business card. I really hope they don't tear her apart though. I'm using some clamps to hold it in place while I screw it all down. The base is a bit of laminated pine that I got from Bunnings, and I've cut it to the same size as the top. A lot of people ask me where I get my feet from. Well, these particular ones I do get on eBay, and I love these ones because they come with a metal base plate and are easy to attach with 4 screws. So that's looking 1000% better already. As I mentioned, I'm going to be applying one of Iron Orchid Design's new summer 2024 release transfers, and this one's called Rose Botanical. And this one is great because there's 8 sheets of individual flower arrangements, and you can make up your own design to fit the piece you're working on. And I actually end up using the whole lot. I've got a base colour in mind, but on the drawers and the frames of the doors is where I'm going to put the flowers. So I'm making them white, and I'm using Annie Sloan chalk paint Old White. And I'm stippling it on to give it a little bit of texture as I'm applying it. So here I'm applying it to that insert on the doors. I've decided to use this colour as the base coat. It's Daydream Apothecary Manzanilla, and I'm applying it in a very stippled fashion, and I will go over and add some chunky bits as I go. I haven't actually added any texture paste to this, but because it's a chalk style paint, the peaks that I'm creating with the stippling should dry as a textured surface. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. This green actually looks really good with the transfer, but I do have another colour in mind. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting up all the transfer pieces and making some arrangements. At this stage, I'm just having a play, and then when I'm happy with my arrangements, I'll add a bit of tape to hold it all in place. Another thing you can do is take a photograph so you can refer to that if you forget what you've done. Once I'm happy with the placement, it's time to start rubbing them into place. And I always start with the bottom ones first, obviously, and then layer them over the top. If you're not familiar with furniture transfers, they are very easy to apply. First, you remove the white back sheet, and then you use the plastic tool that's provided and you rub it onto your painted surface. And as you do this, the clear plastic on top will come away. This is the first door so far. She's looking pretty good, I think. On to the next one. I do end up filling in some spaces with some more of the florals, and there's also this text, and I use it to go around the outer edge. Once I've finished my design, I usually apply a satin polyurethane top coat, but I am going to be doing some Craquelure. And I'm using Annie Sloan's Craquelure, and it comes in 2 steps. The first step, you apply an even coat all over the surface and you allow it to dry. Step 2 is pretty much the same as step 1. You paste it on all over the surface and wait for it to dry. And as it dries, it will crackle. And you never really know what sort of crackle you're going to get. I did speed it up a little bit with a hot air gun because I was a little too impatient. Once it's all dry, I apply Annie Sloan dark wax to all the crackled surface, and what this does, it gets trapped in all the little bits of crackle, and I'll wipe off the excess, and it will really showcase that beautiful crackle underneath. Almost the last thing I do is apply Scandinavian Pink, Annie Sloan chalk paint, and it is a perfect match for some of the florals. And I'm applying this all over where I've applied the textured green. And I have to apologise because I forgot to film using my carbide scraper to just knock off some of the texture to expose some of that green for that lovely worn look, but you'll see it in the final photos. Here is that gorgeous crackle. It really worked out well, and you can see how I've exposed the green underneath. Not crazily, I've just given it a slight worn look, and I've gone over the whole piece with clear and a little bit of dark wax. I really hope you've enjoyed this makeover. She certainly has come a long way, and I think she looks fantastic. If you need more information, feel free to ask me questions. And if you'd like to see more of my work, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for watching.